Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. Happy New Year, and thank you to everyone that's been, following for so long. It's been many of you, tens, hundreds of thousands of you, millions across the world. So it's fantastic. We've been building the channels back from their, the way they've been pushing down. So this is kind of like, what I said in the title. For if you look at numerology, we're basically moving into or out of a 9-year. So you take the 2025, add them all together, it's a 9. It marks the end of a 9-year cycle, signifying completion, transformation, and letting go to prepare for new beginnings. All right, so we've definitely seen that over the last several years. All right, and many people have been waiting for this year, this 1 year. So a 1 year signifies the start of a new 9-year cycle, representing new beginnings, leadership, independence, and bold action. All right. I feel very comfortable in saying that that's what we're going to see this year. All right. The year we have been waiting for. And why must it be a year of accountability? So the growing Minnesota fraud scandal. Now the Minnesota fraud scandal, I put out in a couple shows already. Let's look at a little bit deeper at that. All right, Minnesota, the Somali population, they're just puppets. All right, useful idiots, puppets. All right, so these useful idiots are basically spread around, or have been brought in and spread around multiple states. So we've already seen Virginia has a Muslim population, or has a Somali population. Also Ohio, even in Washington State. All right, so we're going to see more. Now this is an underlying problem in mainly Democrat states, because that's their method of operation, right? This fraud. So this fraud extends into, I believe, every single aspect of society, everything, education. We've seen, the fraud within the, the from the COVID vax. We saw that fraud, and how that was the greatest psyop in history. So the medical community, obviously, incredibly full of fraud, right? And then the political system, we know it's full of fraud, and it helps to, operate the other frauds, right? It has cover. Judicial system provides cover for it. Some police provide cover for it. FBI, CIA. So all of these things are corrupt. Now, how much money do you think is involved? So if you look at Minnesota, it has a population of 5.9 million. And now we're seeing that it seems like every day there's more billions that are being discovered that have been defrauded from the people, anywhere from 8 to 9 billion at this point. So let's look at other states. So you get just less than 6 million. Less than 6 million. How many are in New York? Right? New York has about 20 million. Some of these states, like New York and California, a lot of people left those states. But 20 million. So that's a lot more than is in Minnesota. So the fraud is probably on the order of $1 trillion. Yes, I said a trillion, right? So California, which I think may be the number one fraud state in the country, will probably be at least $1 trillion, if not more, in fraud that we're going to discover next year. So, and it's coming already, of course, but who's going to be held responsible? That's going to be very important. How many people are going to go down for this? Now, I think that I feel very certain that Tim Walz will be held for possible treason. And he's going to jail for something, or maybe even executed. I don't know. If he goes to treason, there's possibility he could be executed. All right. So I'm extremely certain of that. All right. So that's one thing, and of course, there's going to be people that say otherwise, but like no one's ever held accountable. Remember, we're going into a 1 year, right? So it's basically leadership is going to come to the forefront. Now, who will be the leaders? Won't be the same leaders we saw in the 9 year. Some of the people that are in the 9 year, of course, will carry over and will really shine. I think President Trump, of course, being one of those. And Tulsi Gabbard, I think, is going to shine. I'm not sure about some of the others, but as we move forward, new leadership will be discovered and will be put in, I believe, in positions where they're really going to rock and roll, all right, and get a lot of stuff done. A lot of stuff is going to happen in this next year coming up. So we have not only the Minnesota and countrywide fraud, Kentucky Fried Fraud, Kentucky Fried Chicken. All right, so the January 6th fraud is basically going to come out into the forefront. Of course, the election fraud that happened in 2020 is really going to start to accelerate to a very, very high level very quickly. It's already started here towards the end, so we're coming out of a 9 year, a completion year, and we're moving into the year that's basically going to set it for the rest of the 9 years going forward, guys. All right, will Americans get some answers, some justice? We're going to get a lot of answers. We're going to get a lot of justice. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are excited, because it is an exciting time. We've been talking about that for a long time, but a lot of people, have their ideas of what, should have transpired by now. But when you look at, all of the different energies and so forth that are coming in, this 1 year is going to be phenomenal. All right, so let me look up. So we're going into the Chinese Year of the Horse. Let's see what Chinese Year of Horse. I've heard a lot of good stuff about this, so I want to bring this up. The next year of the horse is 2026, specifically the year of the fire horse, starting February 17th, 2026, and ending February 5th, 2027. Known for energy, freedom, and bold action. Following the cleansing year of the snake, which we're coming out of, past horse years 14, 2002, 90, 78, on and on and on. Each bring a different element: wood, water, fire, and earth. So this is a fire one. So in a fire year, there's going to be a lot happening. So my wife is a Sag, and she's got the horse, and she is really fiery. She loves fire, so we get fire going on all the time, candles and everything. So horse is the seventh animal in the 12 cycle of the Chinese zodiac signs, coming after the snake and before the goat. Recent years of the horse, I've already gone through that. So according to Chinese astrology, horse is confident, agreeable, and responsible. Although they also tend to dislike being reined in by others. All right, I think that's the way we all feel right at this point. They're fit and intelligent, adoring physical and mental exertion. They're decisive, but also easily swayed and impatient. So I think that's a good summing of what's coming, guys. So we're in the 1 year and the year of the horse, the fire horse. All right. So very, very excellent time. Yes, Happy New Year, everybody, if you're just coming in. So, and a big shout out and thank you to everyone that's been supporting the channel for all these years. We've grown quite substantially over the years. See those? Gotta go the other way. See those angel wings? Right. So, yes, I'm protected. I need it. I need a lot of protection in what I do. All right. So, we're going to see that fire come out and basically burn down the house, burning down a house, right? The old house of control and manipulation. Now in Iran, we're seeing a massive protest throughout all of the Iranian cities, major cities at this point. And it's going to be, I think, phenomenal going forward what's going to happen with Iran. I predicted that the former, the prince, the Shah of Iran would be coming back, and he is absolutely coming back, right? So that's what we're looking at right now. Here is a map of what it looks like right now. I'm going to share this in a second. So I'm like moving, I'm acting, I take care of everything. So here is the breakdown of all the cities. Just yesterday it was just a few cities, and now look at all the cities that are basically protest. The Iranian forces are not pushing back that hard because, President Trump said, we're going to knock hell out of them, right? And that's what this year is going to look like. It's going to be hell for those that are evil. And so there's a rumor that they're not pushing back or killing hundreds of people like they have in the past when they would riot against the country, is because they're concerned that President Trump and Israel will come in and start to target them. I believe that will happen if they really start to push back on the people. I'm pretty confident of that. So we're going to see maybe the people just take care of this, and I think that's what that's why they're coming out. They feel that they have finally, because Obama back in his day had made intimations that that's what he was going to do, and they rose up and rioted, and he did nothing. I think that was on purpose. All right, so this is a whole different ballgame now. So we're looking at President Trump is going to take them down. I believe that's going to happen if they start to push back on the people. So this will be a fall of a very oppressive country, and the freedoms that are coming for a lot of Iranians. Now, interesting thing that is happening in Iran, and Juan O'Savin brought this to my attention, is that the Iranians are really rejecting Islam and embracing Christianity, right? So we know that God works in mysterious ways, and I believe this is what's happening. I don't think Islam is long for the world. I think that Christianity, as we know, it's not long for the world. Judaism, as we know, it's not long for this world. Hinduism, as we know it, it's not long for this world. So we have new beginnings that are coming in the 1 year. So a lot of these religions, guys, are going to get a makeover, and some of them are going to pretty much collapse. Churches burned to the ground, pastors executed in public squares, families forced to renounce their faith or face the sword. Across the world, Christianity is under attack. In Nicaragua, priests are arrested for speaking against the regime. Crosses are torn down. Catholic-run charities are shut down overnight. And this is ridiculous. So these, and I saw this all over the Middle East, where the Muslims would basically, they're systematically destroying Christianity, except in Iran. And what you see is the Christian charities are the only ones that are basically making a difference. They're helping their communities, or in every way possible. And then the Muslims come in and burn those churches and run those Christian charities out, and then the people suffer even more. It's insane. So I think people are really going to start to push back on Islam. I don't think it's a very good religion. Yes, I said it. In India, Hindu nationalist mobs stormed Christian villages, torching homes, beating pastors, forcing mass conversions at gunpoint. Bibles are confiscated. Worshippers disappear into the prison system in China, and we know what that means. They're going to get organ harvested, right? Then there's Nigeria, the deadliest place in the world to be a Christian. Past 20 years, at least 50,000 have been slaughtered, not in a war, not by an invading army, but by Islamist extremists and Fulani herdsmen acting with near total impunity until Christmas Day, when President Trump delivered them some nice presents and blew their asses to kingdom come, right? Despite the persecution, despite the bloodshed, despite the silence of world leaders, Christianity is not dying, because we know that world leaders are basically Luciferian for the most part. But that's going to get cleaned up too this year. In fact, in some of the most hostile places on earth, it's thriving. One of those places may surprise many: Iran. The land of poets and kings transformed into an Islamic theocracy was not inevitable. Before 1979, Iran was a rapidly modernizing nation under the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, right? And his son Pahlavi is coming back because the people want what they lost. The streets of Tehran bore little resemblance to what they do today. Women were not compelled to cover themselves. Cultural life flourished with cinemas, nightclubs, and a vibrant art scene. And then the Iranian Revolution. Remember where they raided the American embassy? And this was mainly the university students. So we haven't seen the university students take a side until now. So now the university students are going against the corrupt Islamist regime. So this is a major thing. Everybody's basically against the Islamist regime at this point. All right, so led by Ayatollah Khomeini, the uprising against the Shah was fueled by a mix of economic dissatisfaction, opposition to his authoritarian rule, and a rising wave of religious fundamentalism. So Iran's rigid brand of Islam is not reflective of the broader Muslim world. Rather, it emerged from a revolution that exploited both political discontent and religious zealotry, transforming one of the Middle East's most modern societies into one of the most repressive. Essentially, in the blink of an eye, Iran transformed from a playground that was culturally, probably one of the most culturally diverse places in the world, the Persian Empire, thousands of years. Still, they have that. So I look forward to when they basically throw off this Islamist crap that I get to go there and visit. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. So, I love history, and Iran has lots of it. So today, despite every effort, Christianity is exploding. Rather incredibly, Iran now has one of the fastest growing Christian populations in the world. Not in grand cathedrals, not in public squares, but underground, spreading quietly and carefully. Most Christian churches are outlawed. There are official church buildings for the traditional Armenian and Assyrian Christian minorities, and their clergy are allowed to wear robes. For the most part, however, it's just ordinary Iranian students, workers, even former mullahs who have seen the darkness, yes, of the Islamic Republic and want something else. All right, they're fed up, they want freedom, and the more the government cracks down, the more the underground church grows. I think this is one of the major reasons why Iran is about to become free. All right. So now, if we look at other areas, I've been to Iraq, and I've seen almost every country that I've been to, pretty much in the Middle East. So Christians in Iraq, and that was one of the first Middle Eastern countries I went to, but I've been to all of them, almost all of them. Christians in Iraq, an ancient community, have seen their numbers drastically decline from over 1 million pre-2003, when Saddam Hussein was taken down, to fewer than 250,000 a day, primarily due to decades of war, instability, persecution, and ISIS violence, with major denominations including Chaldean Catholics and Assyrian Church of the East members who face ongoing insecurity, property loss, and immigration, despite efforts to rebuild and seek constitutional guarantees for the rights. That's coming. Not going to come. Not going to come in these Muslim countries as they stand today. All right. So something's got to change. Islam, like I said, has to collapse. All right. Christianity in Syria is ancient, tracing back to the apostles, with major denominations including Greek Orthodox, Syriac Orthodox, and various Catholic, Melkite, Armenian, and Protestant churches. But the community has shrunk drastically since especially since basically ISIS took over, because that's the way it happens. They come in, they take over, and the Christians get displaced and killed. Right? Everywhere across the Middle East, everywhere, Pakistan, you name it, everywhere. I've seen Pakis go against Christians when there's uprisings. The Pakis will attack the Christians, and so when I was in Pakistan, I had lots of friends and across all the different religions, and the Christians were the most killed, right? For quite frankly, all right. So it's and beaten and all kind of crazy stuff, ostracized. They didn't have a chance. So they had 10% of the community in Syria just a few years ago, and now it's less than 3%, right? Due to civil war, displacement, extremist threats. Though pockets remain, they're not going to last long, all right, unless something drastically changes, all right, which I don't see anytime soon. Now, in September 2025, a Houston area imam affiliated with the Nation of Islam launched a campaign urging Muslim-owned businesses to stop selling pork, alcohol, and gambling products, items considered haram or forbidden in Islam. So they started to enforce Sharia law and constitutional republic. I would say that Texas, of all the states, is more a republic, like America should have been and should have remained, actually, not should have been, but was, than any other state. Yet here we have a Muslim invasion, which is basically going to destroy that very quickly and very methodically, because they will overproduce children, and that's why they take over in every place they go, and eventually they get the voting, rights, because it's in a Democrat, not a Republic, in a Democrat society, which is one of the worst forms of government, because we were never supposed to be a Democrat country, guys. We're a republic. But in a democracy, lowest form of government, then it's ruled by mob. So that's where we're going to see the Muslims basically take over, right? In areas where they're allowed to, illegally immigrant and then reproduce beyond all the other populations and take over, right? So this is their strategy, and this is the way they've taken over countries throughout the world throughout time. All right, so threatening public protests and boycotts. So public protests and boycotts, I've seen this this is the way they do this. It starts with protests and then it goes violent. It always, 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 always goes violent with the Muslims, guys. Always, right? So fortunately, they push back on it. The governor, Abbott, announced a ban on Sharia law. That's not going to stop them, though, guys. Like I said, they'll overproduce, and then they'll take over the local forms of government, and then they'll allow it, right? So this is the way it's going to happen, unless it's stopped. And I'm not the one that's going to, like in the past, where there's a cleansing, which happened in Spain. Spain, basically put up with the Muslims there in Spain for hundreds of years. Then eventually they're like, enough's enough, and they slaughtered the Muslims in a very short period of time. And then, of course, we've seen wars throughout Europe against Muslim invasions. and now they've invaded again, systematically. And so we've had the deep state basically allow them to come in and start to take over, where we as a people have stood against the negative aspects of Islam, because you can't have biblical biblical religion like we have with Bible, Jesus, so forth, and Islam. You can't have them together. All right, they don't mix. Right, so there's conflict, and there's been conflict ever since those two religions started to butt heads, and that's going to continue. It'll continue until there is no more of one or the other. Right. So that's the way that happens, and who knows, maybe by pushing back on Islam and making them go to areas where they can no longer come and invade our countries and steal our wealth and goodwill, they'll just cancel themselves out, because you look at their countries and they're canceling themselves out where they're like isolated. They can't exist for long. Their form of religion, their form of Sharia law and so forth, basically cancels themselves out. It cancels itself out. So maybe that's what needs to happen. They need to be isolated. They're maybe isolated here in America. They need to be kicked the hell out of America and sent back to where, if they're not going to integrate, sent back to where they can practice what they want and see how that works out for them. All right. I'm being point blank. I've dealt with this for decades. This is the way it's got to happen. All right. So, and the old, you're a racist and, Nazi and so forth. We're over that. We're over that bullshit. Right. That doesn't work with us anymore. That's a system of mind control and, trying to isolate and make you feel bad about doing the right thing. Right. So that's not happening anymore. We're all over that, and we're going to push back on that. So we went through that with the COVID lockdown, where they shamed and all that bullshit. We lived through that, and we look back on that. It's like, that was, how the hell do they do that? Right. I saw it happen. I was trying to tell everybody, but I think pretty much a lot of people are getting it now. So it's a very, very exciting, and I think going to be very good time going forward. Now, one of the ways that we're going to see this happen, like we're seeing in Iran, their economy is collapsing. Same thing, guys. If you have Sharia law and extremism like they've had in Iran, eventually that system collapses. So the system is collapsing, and fortunately, the Christian population has built itself up underground, kind of, and maybe literally and figuratively, and they're ready to rise up and start to make a difference. So in a lot of those places, the Christian population is now 50%, where I talked about how in Syria, just a few years ago, it was 10%, and now it's less than 3%, and will be nothing here pretty soon. So the only way to push back on that is like what President Trump did. You go after Christians, we go after you, right? And going forward, I think that's going to get pushed around the world, and the Islamist, and then the Muslim extremist, and then the radical is Muslims, and then the middle of the road Muslims maybe will survive going forward, but all the other ones ain't going to happen. They're not going to survive, right? Just like the radical leftist Democrats, they're not going to survive going forward either. All right, I don't know if there's going to be drone strikes on them, or tanks come up and blast them, but one way or another, the radical Democrats are going to go bye-bye, right? So most of them are, they don't even have any feelings. They're basically NPCs, and NPCs, non-player candidates, whatever. And I think there's probably almost half the world at this point are NPCs, almost half the world. And the NPCs have been placed here basically to allow the negative groups to, Luciferian, Draco reptilian types to basically, push back on us and control us and so forth. And they're um, uh, little pawns that are in the front. Probably a lot of Somalians or NPCs. So we're going to see a lot of these NPCs also go away probably next year, and as the new world is shaped and these higher dimensional realities come into existence in this coming year, I think they just cancel themselves out, move into the different frequency field, and they're just going to be gone. Right now, does that mean just 50% of the population goes away? No, there's more. All right, so somewhere between 20 to 25, maybe even 30% of the population is consciously compromised. I think a lot of those people either wake up or they also go away. Right. So that means that it's going to be a very, very wonderful Earth going forward. Definitely not as many people as we're seeing right now, but I mean, it's going to be great because there's no NPCs running around, with no, they don't care about, they have low emotion, if any emotion. It's, I mean, all of us have seen them. Yeah, that's right, Kimmy. Kim, Wisconsin. They're basically useless idiots, not useful idiots, but useless idiots. Yes, useless, useless, and more useless. So that's what we're seeing. Unfortunately, we have been slow to come to this realization. We thought that everybody should have a fair shake, and now we're finding out that that's really not the way the world works, right? And I'm saying, and that's not the way God intended it. So we either help ourselves or we perish. So I think we know what's going to happen. We're going to help ourselves. All right. So if we look at what silver is doing right now, we look at the daily chart. We're seeing that silver is very important. It's God's money. We need it going forward. Those of us that are, have been paying attention, we realize that this is going to make a difference in our lives going forward. So if we look at every time that silver has made a massive spike, it has done another little massive spike down, right? And then it goes sideways, and then it builds, you're a little down, and then it goes whoop, like it did. It went, oh my God, I got to go higher. And then it's like, well, you're overbought. You're overbought, and you're going to have to come back down a little bit, right? So that's what we're seeing right now, way overbought, and it's just gyrating. Look at those, like up, and look at that huge candlestick. Oh my God, all the way up to 84 something, and then it came down all the way down to 70, and that's around the place. 70-ish is where we want to see it doesn't break that with a lot of energy, because if it does, it might go a lot lower. But at this point, it looks like it wants to play above 70, and if it does that, it's going to go much higher. I think it goes into $100 in the probably the first month of next year, and then it's going to just keep on going up because, like I said, it's God's money. Right? It's God's money for us to use, and none of the money out there really is ours. I had a great conversation today with Dr. Kirk Elliott. So if you haven't listened to that show, I highly recommend it. It ties into, money and what we need to be focused on, how it's going to help us going forward. Your projection, your thought, and so forth, obviously also makes a difference. So. Now, other things that are happening with silver that I want you guys to be aware of is that it is disappearing. Now, I've said it was going to become unobtainium. Like you look at platinum and palladium, and it's going to become unobtainium, right? No more. Can you get it? So if you look at the price of gold and silver and platinum and palladium, palladium actually went up a little bit today, but now platinum is at 2,066, silver's at 72 spot price. So you see it right there, silver spot price 72. Now let's look at what the actual coins are. So remember that 72.33, that's a spot price. Oh, what are we getting for coins? Silver coins. So let's look. All right. So American silver Eagle, $85 for American silver. All right. That's a lot more than 72. All right. And platinum. Let's look at platinum coins. So platinum, like I said, is at 2,066. Now platinum was at 2,500, I think, maybe just a little bit more. And let's see, what is a 1 ounce of a platinum coin going here? Let's see if I can find a 1 ounce. 1 ounce. Do I hear 1 ounce? Here's a 2019 1 ounce American platinum. It's going for 2,466. So that's not a lot down from the all-time high of 2,500-ish. And now $400 difference from the spot price and what they're asking for platinum. All right, let's look at gold. All right, so the gold spot price, $433. Let's look at American Gold Eagle. All right, so, $220 more. So this stuff hasn't gone down. Now, a lot of people may think that it has gone down, but actually it has not. And so a lot of people, whether it's gone down or not, they're getting out there. They want some of that. They want some of that action. And we've talked about how, at some point we could very possibly see almost a riot, a panic buying could possibly come into. All right, so I'm gonna put it on this one channel where, let's see, we get it right to the perfect spot. All right, I think I got it. All right, so we're gonna go in and we're gonna look at where people have just come in and they have wiped out this one coin dealer. So I watch the coin dealers because I want to see, well, what's the action out there? Are we getting close to that panic buying and then the disappearance of silver? I think we're getting close, guys.
What in the world is going on right now with silver?
It's madness. Look at our showcase of silver.
We have practically no silver in the showcase. You got a few ounces up top. We got a few down below. But usually this showcase is completely packed to the gills. All these black trays full of silver. Basically nothing left.
Not only in the showcases, there's no backstock. Everything's out.
So you're seeing a flood of people wanting to buy silver.
Yeah, because on Sunday, silver touched on $84 in the overseas market, and yesterday it dipped down to around 72. So, relatively speaking.
All right, so my projection many months ago was that we would see 75 to 85 by the end of the year. So we almost saw 85, 84 and some change. I thought it would probably, end up around 80, but now we're seeing towards the end of the year around 72. All right, so this basically, I think this is good action because it went up so fast, so hard, and this pullback was expected. This will build the next leg to 100.
that sounded like a bargain to a whole lot of people. And we had 10 to 20 people lined up well before we opened yesterday, and the place was 3 deep all day long till we closed.
But even when the price was going up, you guys had a lot of people trying to place orders over the weekend too, right?
Other than online orders, we weren't taking any calls over the weekend.
Really?
In fact, we're not even answering the phone when we have that many people in the shop. I just checked messages. We have 50 plus from yesterday that we never could get to. The best way to reach us now.
Yeah. So someone in the chat is asking, was it 2 years you see over 1,000, around 1,200? Yes. And I think it's going to go higher than that. But, a couple of years out, next year, several $100s, maybe up to 500 towards the end of the year. It depends, what the market's going to do. I think the market will definitely collapse next year. We're seeing a collapse in prices for homes like where I'm at here in Lake Tahoe. I'm looking at some homes that are, off 50% what they were at the peak, which was 2022. Now they're like almost $5 million homes are going for, 2.2. So it's really, really coming down, and I think it has still a good ways to go. I think 90% in the housing downturn for most areas, not every area, of course, but most areas barely move at all because there's just nothing there, So people could argue like, Timbuktu in the wilderness still is going for, the same price it went for, 30 years ago, and it hasn't changed. Yeah, because no one wants to live out there. But in most places where, people were moving and pushing the prices up and so forth, we've seen the prices go up. Now, again, if we see, and I don't know how realistic this is going to be going forward. I don't know. This is just what I see. NPCs going away. I mean, you're looking at billions of people just like disappearing. That puts, that makes housing very affordable, right? So there's no one living in some of these houses already. I've seen this here. I saw this in Florida on a massive scale. So I think it's already happening. I think people are disappearing already. Some of it's, natural. Some people are leaving. Some people just don't live in those houses, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, I see, and other people are seeing that there's a lot of vacant homes out there. So I think, the housing collapse will be interesting. The collapse of the economy. So pretty much everyone looks at the stock market and they go, well, the stock market's up. But I probably should have shown you guys that the stock market has made a couple, 2-3 attempts to reach this all-time high again. It pulled back. That's not a good sign. So either it's going to power up, same with crypto, or it's going to power down, both of them. Crypto and the stock market will power down at some point within this coming year. But it could be sooner than I thought and what many others imagined, but we'll see. All right. So I always thought there was going to be a very super powerful last leg higher. It's not looking so good, but we'll see. The manipulation could happen, but what we're seeing in the silver price really takes a lot of energy out of that. Just like you're seeing a collapse in the economy in Iran, which is causing people to basically overthrow the government. Imagine they're seeing like a collapse of 300%, 300% inflation, collapse of, everything. And, we whine here if it's a few percentage here or there, a couple percent, 0.5%. Wait until it goes catastrophic, one way or the other, both ways, I believe, before it's all over. And you're going to see, basically a collapse of a system that's been manipulating us for a long time. And a lot of people, I see it all over the internet, everywhere, are not happy about taxes and are probably going to revolt. So a lot of us have been revolting for a long time. I think it's going to become more mainstream. By saying mainstream, I think there will be tens of millions of people that were tax revolt coming up. All right, so here we have, you know, panic buying in silver because people are seeing silver is the one thing that has gone up more than everything else almost combined. You know, it's crazy. Uh, Crypto, Bitcoin, and most of the other crypto coins are actually negative this year. And I think the S&P, I haven't looked at it since it's had several down days, but it is up, you know, I don't know, it was up like 14, 16%, which is huge for stock market returns. Usually if you get 5% or 10%, it's like you're jumping up and down. In the old days, the average was 5%, and hopefully you didn't get any turn down, so it's average of 5%. So you get big up 10% day or years. So we've had back to back, I think, you know, 15-ish% increases in the S&P. This year alone, we've had probably 150% now. When it was up, you know, 84%, it was like 190%, but now it's probably around 150%, 150% up. So multiply that by, you know, 15, I guess, good years in S&P, which does not happen in a row, and that's basically more than 15 years of good up years in the S&P in 1 year. So everything is moving to where you know, value is, and that's silver, gold, but mostly silver at this point, and then eventually it probably will. So gold's going to blow up too. All right, so I mean, just listen to it.
Now, honestly, is through email because we're just not able to answer the phone during the day.
If people do want to email you guys, where should they send it?
So it's contact@harryscoinshop.com.
So when there's like 20 people here in the shop trying to buy, and there's a line of people out the door, the phone kind of gets ignored.
Yeah, I mean, not on purpose. I mean, because we're helping people. We don't want to be rude. You know, somebody's been waiting, you know, 15 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it might be, to be helped. Last thing we want to do is answer the phone right when we're speaking to them. But here and there, we were between collections or stuff that we're looking at. We did pick up the phone, and you know, just people asking, "Hey, what do you have for silver?" It's like, "Hey, come down to the shop." I mean, it's what I have here in 10 seconds is gone the next, you know, and very busy.
So it's complete chaos.
It is.
So Harry, would you say this is the busiest that your coin shop has ever been?
Now, he's been in business a very, very long time. I know it's over 20 years. So listen to what he says.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, we're always busy, but yesterday was a whole nother level. Yesterday was borderline panic buying.
Was it mostly seasoned stackers, you know, familiar faces, or was it a lot of new people?
A lot of new people, a whole lot of new people who'd never bought silver before. And just like I predicted earlier, when it hits the lay media, people who never heard of gold and silver get the fear of missing out. And we had people.
All right. So what's fun, also funny about this, is that I've put some of these on before. There's one guy that goes out, and it's so fun. He's like, "Would you take this $20 or this, you know, ounce of silver?" And of course, silver at the time was like, I don't know, near $50. And they're like, "I'll take the 20. What do you mean? You trying to scam me here? What?" It's like, "No, you can have the 20 or the silver." And he's like, "Oh, of course I'll take the 20." And so this goes on and on and on. And then this one black gentleman, he takes the 20. He's like, "I got to know." It's like, what's that silver coin worth?" And he goes like $50. And he's like, can I change my mind?" And he's standing right outside a coin store. So it's really, really fun. So the latest that he's done is, I think that he was taking the coins and he was going, "Okay, do you want this donut, or do you want this silver dollar?" Or he didn't call it silver dollar. He want 1 ounce of silver. And people are like, I mean, one after another after another after another. "I'll take the donut. I'll take the donut. Why would I take that?" It's like, "Yeah, give me it was chocolate. That's what it was, chocolate." And you know, the girls come up. Of course, I'm a girl. I I'm going to take the chocolate. And so over and over and over. So now that we're seeing that it's starting to become more mainstream, we're going to see a lot of those people that, diss the silver and are like, my God, I could have had an ounce of silver. So that's what we're seeing right now. So people are becoming more aware that silver actually is something that they can benefit from, and so we're gonna see them definitely start to dive in. And there's just not enough silver, guys. I mean, the silver for companies and so forth, they need that. They're clamoring for that. It's becoming very difficult for the big companies, to get their silver, the solar, makers, solar panel makers, and then the missile makers and the electric batteries for cars. They're not getting enough. So the average person is not going to get it either. So this is why we're saying that you should really, really get into it. So let's change the energy, and let's look at something else. So speaking of people that are don't know, right? And then people that should know, like politicians, like Tim Walz. You would think he would know about all that corruption going on there, but he says he didn't know anything about it. He's like, well, Minnesota is a lot of corrupt people come here. They're attracted here because there's opportunities here. That's his excuse for the corruption that's going on in the state. That's not going to work out going forward, of course. But we have a lot, and I'm going to give you a couple examples. We have some people that should have known better in the past, and I'm going to kind of focus on COVID now, because COVID was the biggest psyop ever in history. And if you did not learn from that, like if you're watching my show and you still have still have a mask on, and you've gotten 15 booster shots by now, I doubt there's anybody like that watching my show. But if you are in that category, or if you've gotten one shot and you're like, nothing happened to me, what? I don't see what the fuss is about. It's time for you to really start to look harder at things. All right, so let's get what Arnold Schwarzenegger had to say.
Governor is slamming the people who say that forcing them to wear a mask or be vaccinated is un-American.
So this was 4 years ago.
But I think people should know there is a virus here. It kills people, and the only way we prevent it is to get vaccinated, to wear masks, and not just to think about, well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom, because with freedom comes obligations and responsibilities. We cannot just say, I have the right to do X, Y, and Z. When you affect other people.
Now, Schwarzenegger released a video on YouTube. He talked about several topics, including the people pushing back over vaccine and mask mandates. Schwarzenegger has been a vocal supporter of social distancing and of trying to wipe out COVID-19 vaccine misinformation.
All right, so at this point, we all know, I hope we all know, that this was a very negative campaign against humanity. And screw you, Schwarzenegger. Yes, screw you, Schwarzenegger. So I mean, there was a lot of us that were like that. But do you guys remember? Do you remember when they said they were going to come into our houses, and if we weren't vaccinated, they were going to get a little help being vaccinated, and then the American public started to talk out. Come on, I got something for you if you come in my house. And then they're like, oh, maybe that's not a good idea. And they backed off finally. Finally, people got bold about this and like, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Yeah, there's some people that succumb to the stupidity, but we haven't. And then they said, we're going to come into everybody's house. And they're like, oh, hell no, you're not. Right? So That's the thing that turned it around, I believe. All right. Now we need to be like that, and we have been trying to be like that, and I think we've been very successful of getting on top of this very quickly before they've been able to hammer us with stupid. But there were other people that succumbed as well. Now, Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura were in that movie Predator together. So I thought a nice tribute to basically show Jesse Ventura, former Navy SEAL. So I thought highly of Jesse at one time. And for the longest time, he could do no wrong. He was the governor of Minnesota, and he did a very, very good thing there, I believe. So let's look at a little clip of Predator. Jesse Ventura, he was a hero to a lot of people, and then he became governor of Minnesota. And Minnesota is not looking so good these days with Tim Walz. And who's that one pillow guy? The pillow guy. He wants to become governor. I think he's got a good shot at it. So we'll see. It seems like Wisconsin is pretty much open to alternative people, and I think that's going to be very important going forward. So Jesse the Body Ventura, he had some good times. He did some good stuff. He was a SEAL. He had a lot of respect. But just because you're SEAL, like I've said, doesn't mean you're all that smart, right?
Bunch of slack-jawed faggots around here. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me. Payback time. What the fuck?
Now, I wanted to say something here. Now, I was going to carry a Gatling gun. I was like, I'm going to do that shit. So I had a backpack like he does. I had it all rigged out with 1,000 rounds. The minigun itself is pretty heavy. I forget how much it weighs. But the showstopper was that it had to have a battery, right? So this is Hollywood, of course. There's no battery. The battery weighed more than the actual minigun and the rounds. So, situating that on my hip or on my back was a no-go. So it's kind of fun to watch this, but I carried the M60 and I put a lot of rounds down range, and I was very successful with them in combat operations as well. So it is fun, but I want you guys to look at this. It's kind of like a tribute.
Just dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
All right, so those one-liners. I ain't got time to bleed.
Oh. Okay. You got time to duck?
All right. So, good times, and but he did a really good job also with conspiracy theory, and he had his little movie time, and then he did conspiracy theory, and he was on one show where it was 2009. I don't think maybe it was a little earlier when he did this one video, but this woman flew in and told him about this one threat to humanity that was coming. And so we'll watch a little bit of that. All right. So maybe not. So I'll have to talk about it. So anyway, this woman comes, she flies in, she wants to meet him, and she tells them there is a virus that's coming, and it's going to be a massive threat to humanity. And he's like, wow, you know. And she basically describes COVID long before it comes. So I thought it was pretty amazing. Now, there have been some times since then when COVID came out, right? So you saw the way that Schwarzenegger was with being stupid, right? And he's the real asshole, right? Yeah, we don't care about your feelings, there, Schwarzenegger. So this is probably one of those times where we're going to need to take a step away from these control people and what they've done. I don't think it's going to work going forward for them, just like it hasn't worked for Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger has pretty much been suppressed to a great extent. No one wants to work with him. No one wants to have him on their talk shows like we used to. We were like thought highly of him, but when he came out like that and pushed the vaccine and so forth, it pretty much killed his career, in my opinion. Now, let me stop this here because I got a better one. So I think that going forward, we're going to start to see through the people that are like this, and who are the problem people, the real problem people, and the Jesse Ventura. After he did this, Hitler would have won. Jesse Ventura slams lack of sacrifice from anti-maskers. Let's see if this plays. So these don't want to play either. So anyway, I guess I have to talk about this one too. He comes on and says, made the comments during a press event Wednesday that early in the pandemic, health leaders did not recommend wearing masks, but have since revised their guidance, saying wear a cloth mask is key. What is wearing a mask? That is nothing to do for it to be required to do that, and yet we have half the country won't put it on because they got egos, said Ventura. We got a president that won't wear one and even get sick, and he still won't wear one. I'm just glad that this generation wasn't around when my mom and dad fought in World War II, because we would have lost had we had the same type of response. So, disappointing to say the least. After he was a hero for a lot of us for a period of time, but then he came out with those comments, and he was a vax pusher, right? So I know that he was under consideration for RFK Jr.'s when he was running for president. He looked at Ventura, but then when he saw Ventura's stance on the vaccination, he was a no-go, right? So that's the way it is. You do stupid, you play stupid, then you get stupid rewards, which is you're out of it, right? No one cares anymore. So that's kind of where we are with a lot of these people now. A lot of these people have to stand trials and so forth, have to take responsibility for the bullshit that they did. And who knows, maybe Schwarzenegger and Ventura, who should know better after having been warned decade plus ago that this was coming, he should have seen, oh, this is what that woman warned about. And it still doesn't register. And he goes on and pushes the mask and the social distancing and the vaccination, like some kind of not your good thing. You weren't around when the Nazis were there. That's interesting, because we know that Schwarzenegger's father was a Nazi, right, during World War II. So these are some of the things that are coming out. So we need to start to really hold some of these people accountable. I think that in the future, that a lot of them are just going to go to the wayside. They won't be recognized for anything. They won't be participating in anything. Just like RFK Jr. was like, he's not going to participate in anything I'm doing. Well, that kind of stupid. So that's kind of what we're seeing, I think, going forward. It'll be very interesting, I think, how it works out. And if you're still deciding to be stupid going forward, then I don't know. Maybe you go on to the other planet with the NPCs. That you have a good time with them, I guess, because they'll just go along with whatever you say. Oh boy. So that's kind of where we're at, guys, with a lot of that. But we can push back, I think, and find some areas where there's good things. Just like I've done with LifeWave. I think LifeWave is one of those things that we're looking at that's really going to help humanity. And this was a time, this was several years ago now, where I had David Schmidt on and talked about how LifeWave, the patches, basically would overcome the effects of COVID-19 vaccinations.
Have you heard about the eggshell ritual for dogs? It's been getting a lot of attention in holistic vet circles lately.
Why did they really ban the most effective fat burner in history? It wasn't about safety.
Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco.
Indeed would be a good one. We found, of course, in our study that copper glycinate works extremely well in gene expression, improves longevity, but also the
cancers or anything like that. I saw a show where you're talking to the gentleman. You're talking about the fibrogen that seems to be showing up in a lot of people, and that's what's causing the heart problem and so forth. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with the liver overproducing the fibrogen?
Yeah, if it's okay, let me share some of these slides with you, and we can kind of talk through that. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah. So we did 2 studies, and this was with both dark field and bright field microscopy. And these are techniques that allow us to image white blood cells together like this. And when that happens, the cells can't do what they're supposed to. They can't deliver oxygen from one part of the body to the other. And cancer cells thrive in an environment without oxygen. It's called anaerobic metabolism, unaware of anything that could cause this. So in his careers.
All right. So what we're seeing here, it looked like devil cells, and that had been transformed. They had horns, they had tails. So we called them devil cells. So this is something, from a good source that was basically bringing us information that we could do good things. And I think that's where consciousness is going these days. Having quality people to come in and give good information like that, not like we had with Schwarzenegger and Ventura. Very, very disappointing. So in the new world that we're moving into, the one, we're going to be the one in the one world. In numerology, that one is the beginning, and that's where beginning, new beginnings, leadership, like I talked about, leadership from people like a David Schmidt, Vice, the old system with the Schwarzenegger and the Venturas, and the Bidens and the Obamas and the Clintons, and are all going away. So that's the great thing that we have coming. So other things are coming. We're still not done with the baddies. There are some things that still happen, and I think that some of these are natural, but some of them are being somewhat affected. You guys know that I said there was going to be a lot of waves, atmospheric waves that were coming to the West Coast. And of course, those are sweeping across the rest of the country too, and causing problems. But as we look at these next storms that are coming in here, you're going to see, especially over here in California, and of course that last wave that came through, you're seeing a lot of snowfall that's happening on the northeast coast. So watch what happens over the next week or so, because we got a lot of waves coming in here in California now. We're seeing the snow that's really building up, over 4 feet or more, that's coming into the mountains of California and then higher up into Oregon. But there's also a lot of rain that's coming in, probably more flooding and so forth for California, filling up those reservoirs like I talked about. And now you're seeing that's basically, it's probably going all the way down to the coast. So you see in Oregon, I'm pretty sure that's where the redwoods come all the way down to the coast. Same thing in California, about right in here, where the redwoods come down to the coast. The redwoods, I think, are remnants, and this area of the coast is remnant of Lemuria, a broken off piece of it. So we'll see a continual pattern of manipulation until they're all gone. I think it's going to come, like I said, next year, a lot of it. But this winter weather is going to start to impact, and freezing temperatures. Freezing temperatures are coming all the way down into the very lowest areas, halfway down Florida now, all along the Gulf Coast. There's freezing temperatures that are coming, and this snowfall, I think, it's going to hit every state. I don't know how far down it's going to go into Florida this year, but it's going to go down into Florida pretty good again, or not again, but this year it will go down deep into Florida, I believe. So we'll see, more manipulation. Like I said, from the deep state, they're not done yet. They need some spanking still. Now, earthquake activity. There's a group that has predicted earthquakes. I've shown them. Looks like the earthquake activity is really going to get pretty crazy. Like I said, so let me guys give you predictions. I always give you predictions every year. I'll give you a couple right now. Like I said, I think the deep state in America is really going to get taken down, hammered very hard this year. Right? You're going to see a lot of arrests. I believe that there will be some movements among citizens where they will take action into their own hands. In some cases, in some states, not everywhere, but it will happen in America. My best guess is California will probably have some people that will go bye-bye, right, for their actions, and throughout California. And then, those poor lizards, right? So those poor lizards, Mary, that's good. Lizard people, they don't have any empathy, obviously, and a lot of people know that, and they're gonna find out, right? So it'll happen across the country. New York, probably on a grand scale. Probably Illinois. I hope it doesn't happen, but I've seen it for a very long time, and I hope that it wouldn't reach that level, but I'm pretty sure it will. So we'll see some of that activity. I don't think we're going to see a lot of it because we have the mainstream media is not going to cover it, and independent journalists are going to be like, "There you go," right? So it'll get out how it gets out. Now, other predictions that I have is earthquake activity. We saw a lot of earthquake and volcanic and tsunami activity this year. It'll increase on another level again, right? So there'll be more significant earthquakes this coming year, and this is part of just changes that happen in the earth as well as us, guys. So it's not in the most part, it's not against humanity unless there are areas where humanity has very low vibrational integrity, and then that will allow some of this to actually slip in and cause a lot of damage and destruction. So that is something that a lot of us have noticed over decades now. The areas where there was a lot of badness, and droughts and a lot of problems, and then once they overthrew their badness, they had like beautiful weather and everything they needed. They became one with God again, and they shirked off the Luciferian systems that came in. I saw this throughout the Middle East, and then the Middle East started taking in this extreme level of Islam. So that's going to basically be bad for the Islamists. All right, so around the world. So around the world, Islamists will be pushed back on very significantly, right? And a lot of them are going to get blown up, right, from missiles and all kind of stuff. So, but that's their consciousness. That's what they're attracting to themselves, and we're going to let them have it. Right? We're going to let them enjoy that because they want that. All right. So that's the things that are coming for them. So that's good for now. There's other stuff I'm going to reveal, but you guys know that I'm constantly revealing stuff. So it's not like I do big things at the beginning of the year, but like I said, consciousness is really making a difference now. So I can predict something, out at this point, and it might not happen, right? But I think we're going to see significant activity on the coast of the west coast of America, and also in Italy. There's going to be a pretty significant one. Tsunamis, all kind of crazy stuff. So now we're seeing 2.5 million removed, record number of violent offenders arrested. So the Trump team, so a lot of people whine that Trump is not doing anything. I beg to differ. So here we have a massive pushback, and so under new Trump administration policies, so he's getting big kudos for this. His polling has gone up because of the success of the removing a lot of these violent offenders and so forth, illegal immigrants. So it says under Trump administration policies, more than 2.5 million people were removed from the U.S. this year, including a record number of violent offenders. Now, I know that if they took every aircraft that is available, and that's including, the flights that we take, American Airlines, United Airlines, they took all those flights and started, daily flights to get out all the illegal immigrants, it would still be barely a dent in a whole year. It's crazy. But they have started allocating aircraft specifically for this, and they're starting to allocate specific areas for rounding them up and then getting them out. Now, this includes 622,000 who were deported. So that's a staggering number that they got that many out. Right, like I said, if they just turned all the aircraft, commercial aircraft that's in here in America, and loaded them up every day, and just flew them, it would still be a little over 1 million. So they must be using a lot of military aircraft. So 622,000. Now this was cool. Self-deporting was 1.9. So that was a biggie. That was the biggie. So just getting on the bus and going back home, or getting on a plane and going back home, or walking back across the border, however they got out of here in massive numbers, way more than we can find, prosecute, and deport. So this is good. The majority arrested, 70%, had criminal records. So the Democrats really were trying to destroy our country. We know this. Large percentage included men who were previously deported, including multiple times, and had final removal orders from federal immigration judges. Even during the longest federal government shutdown in U.S. history, ICE continued to apprehend violent offenders In Houston alone, they arrested nearly 3,600. Massachusetts, during Operation Patriot 1.0 and Patriot 2.0, ICE arrested more than 2,860. So that's all the way up in Massachusetts. So everywhere, every corner of America is flooded with illegal immigrants, guys. Flooded with them. So there's still a lot of work to do. We still have tens of millions, I think, to get out of here. And I hope a good portion of them are these bad Muslims, right? Because bad Muslims, they don't, their consciousness is not so good, right? So they will go cray cray very, very quickly, all right? They're very excitable. I've seen them, right? I've barely survived a lot of their very excitable times for many, many, many years. So we need to get them out. Need to get them out, guys. All right, that's all I got for now. It is going to be quite beautiful going forward. But wait, there's one more. There's one more. I just saw it. I forgot this one. All right. Now, this brings up another thing. You guys see here, Kathy Hochul. If that's not a vampire, I don't know what a vampire is, right? That is totally a vampire. Like Gavin Newsom, another vampire. So I've been working on Gavin Newsom because you know that I do these things on the the higher dimensional realms. When I went after Gavin Newsom, he had a lot of demons with him. Now, these demons are not the demons that you see in magazines and Hollywood and so forth. That's misdirection, right? These are reptilian beings, right, that actually inhabit these, like Kathy Hochul. She's inhabited. All right, so, and they love blood, right? They love blood, they love flesh, and so you look at Gavin Newsom. I know some of the people in the chat have said, I have been looking at Gavin Newsom for a long time, and I see a vampire in him too. So I went after Gavin Newsom, and it was game on when I went after him. So it's very, very dark. They're very dark beings. And when I was basically going after him, there was like flame and all kind of crazy stuff. It was the first time I actually had to pull down my face shield and fight. So the interesting thing is, while I'm fighting, all the angels are coming in, and my son who's passed away a while back now, he came in and he fought alongside me, and he looked like a Greek god. It's like, wow. So when you're in this realm, you don't communicate. You just know things, right? So and I knew it was him. He had wings. I have wings. So we flew around and we started slashing around at these baddies. And that's one of the things that you do in this realm. It's not something that you don't understand this realm, just take up in the spur of a moment. It's like, I'm going to get that. I'm going to do that. That's what I did. And that's when I lost my life. But Archangel Michael came back in and saved me. So, and they gave me the power to do the things I'm doing now. So these beings, and I went after the governor of Colorado too. That's where it really got crazy, all right, because his partner jumped in too, and so it was full on angelic realm against the reptilians, right? And they seem like demons, they act like demons, they have wings, they breathe fire. We don't have fire. We don't breathe fire. We just have shields and armor and swords. And I used a spear for the first time. I've never used a spear before, but a spear came into my hands, and I was very effective with a spear. Pretty amazing. So it is crazy, the level of evil that's out there, but it's being defeated on a massive scale. And there's there's a lot of people doing it like me, right? So I know there's a lot of people still in California that still work in California. I see them doing their thing. I'm like, you're brave to stay there. Good for you. But they've been there for a long time. They've been working it for a long time. So there is good things are happening. So here are the different states. Basically, Kathy Hochul is allowing people to die. They call it death with dignity, which is legal in California, Hawaii, New Jersey, Washington, Colorado, Illinois, New Mexico, Delaware, Maine, Oregon, District of Columbia, Montana, which is surprising to me, and Vermont. Montana, I think, is the only Republican state. I don't know if they put it in before the Republican came in there or what's going on there, but this is evil to me. Death with dignity is legal, and here's the states that are considering it. So North Carolina is considering it, Indiana, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, New York, of course, and New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and New York. So that's New York City, I guess. So it is, just like we got rid of, killing babies, and I think that saved our country from God would have allowed us to be destroyed. But because that was overturned, now they're coming at it from a different angle, where they have death with dignity, which we've seen in Canada has gone full bonkers, where they allow teenagers that are having a bad day, they go and they claim they're ready to go. They don't contact their parents, and they're gone, right? So this is what this is going to bring in. They told us that the reason why they came in with the abortion was because there were lots and lots and lots and lots of women that were doing it illegally, and they were dying from it. Those numbers were way inflated. So it is another way they're going to kill us, right? Evil, right? So we have to look at all the different things they're trying to do to us, and perhaps there is a certain level, death by dignity, where someone now, LifeWave again. I've had I've had a show just recently, and shows in the past. I showed this last Monday, where we talked about a woman that had shared with Jen Allen how I guess this one woman's mother was dying. They put her on. They were getting ready to put her on the death stuff, and they put patches on her. And within a week, they took her off the medication. It was basically slowly killing her, and she survived, and she was going out and having a great time with her mom. Beautiful story. So there are not, of course, that's not going to work for everybody. The patches, I know that some people were on their way out and they used the patches, and they had a better life before they went, but they went. So there could be things that, if it's your time, if Archangel Michael shows up, put you back in, or a lot of people have had stories about Jesus coming and putting them back in, and they were effectively dead for a long time. All their organs were like done, but Jesus, they had conversations with Jesus. Jesus put them back in, and they recovered completely. It's like, wow. So it is something that can happen. So I'm not a fan. I'm not in favor of speeding someone's life out of here. So I think it's sad, but it's again, I think it's another thing that they're using against us to basically kill us, right? To kill the population. And thanks you guys for your support. Like I said, the super chats, and also for getting into LifeWave. All right, get into LifeWave. you haven't done it yet, everybody can benefit. Probably soon next month to go a very successful group where we're going to promote it, and it's going to really blow up, I think, for a lot of the people that are high performance. So it's going to be a very interesting year next year for many reasons. It's going to be beneficial for humanity on many different levels. I think a lot of the special access stuff that most people haven't been privy to will become available to humanity going forward. And then a lot of the hidden technologies that could benefit humanity are going to start coming out. Of course, that's some of the stuff that David Schmidt has been involved and has been releasing to the public. So more of those come next year, early next year. So lots of exciting things. Have, these evil ones that are going to come after us. And yes, I can, but sometimes, most times, it takes a while. I got activated on several people, and this is for some of the people that I've been working on. So very interesting time. No one's ever lasted for very long after I started working on them. Something occurred that basically took them out, and it is maybe too good, maybe they like we're definitely going to go out, and like we're doing with the Newsom partner and also and the partner Oregon. All of them were like demonics all around them. Right? So demonic. I'm really talking about to be integrated with them and pretty much have pushed consciousness out. So it's going to be very interesting going forward how people start to wake up to this, because never really this kind of stuff